been a resident of Boise, Idaho for over 800 years. I just don't get why this always happens to me every single time.
Oh, come on, guys. You get it. You get it right.
Hello, and welcome to the Rag Company Podcast here at the Rag Company Podcast YouTube channel. Of course, I'm Dane Hennon, your host. To my right, Levi Gates.
Hello.
Yes. And to my left, Anthony Fisher.
Thanks, Dane. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm just glad to have the team back together. You guys were kind of out, differing levels of roughness.
Good times.
We're hanging in there, so thank you for joining me. But any housekeeping before we get into the actual meat and potatoes of the show?
Oh,
look at this. We got a new microphone set up. How about that? Just like that. All right.
Well, this is nice.
yeah, look at that. On the fly with producer Nick.
On the fly. Thank you, Nick. And I will get that adjusted. So if you guys wouldn't mind talking while I set this up, that would be great.
Housekeeping.
It's a housekeeping room. And
We ate dinner. Last year, Augie and Carly were at Disneyland.
Yeah.
And so I took Hadley as my date, and your wife was out of town.
She was in Mexico, yeah. So I took my daughter, and we went there and played some games. It was really fun. So I think tomorrow we're going to be, getting back together as a company and doing that. And I think it's bowling and all sorts of different fun stuff. So we're looking forward to getting out there and doing that. But as far as the what's going on here at the Rag Company,
And I pop out through that window, climb into the bed of the truck, and you back up. You haul butt down the road, J-turn to that truck, and we hook onto it.
Okay.
And then I climb over the top, and I use some sort of freeze spray, and I will break the hitch,
Okay.
keeping it attached to the semi
sounds exactly
with
like
a hammer.
This is
sounds
sounding very
exactly
familiar.
like Fast and Furious 5, 6.
It's pretty close.
Yeah.
But it's shown that it
Almost
works.
identical. Yeah.
Shown that it works.
That freeze spray looks an awful lot like just a can of compressed air from
Is there an iguana
CompUSA
involved
or
in this?
something.
Possibly.
Possibly the driver has an iguana. Okay.
But I'm thinking we just go get it. Even though it's on its way, the Ram will tow that, right?
Yeah.
You can tow a 40-foot container.
Yeah. I'm hoping that, so it looks like we've had some comments here about the stream saying things with the audio and or the...
Remember, there's a delay.
Dane's mic is
so
off,
they talked
just
about
got it.
audio issues before. So I didn't want to linger on it, but I'm just letting those guys figure it out while we
I think it
continue.
might be that it says that we're a little blurry. Some people have diagnosed with glaucoma.
Yeah.
And
Oh my God.
I don't know what's going on with the stream here, so I'm hoping that this is, at least the audio is good for people watching.
I just did a whole thing on
certainly hope so.
of us stealing our own shipment.
Yeah, and we don't know if it...
And nobody
We don't know
heard
if it turned out or not.
Oh.
So
Anyway, point is,
anyways,
they should be here soon.
Yes. Other housekeeping things is that we will be having I would say a pretty festive something coming up here within the next week or so that I think people will really like. It's something we haven't done before, not this particular style of... Well, I mean, we'll call it a sale, but we're doing something different. It is a unique twist on something that you may or may not wind up with some coal in your box, right?
Oh.
I mean, maybe a useful coal in some way, shape, or form, but we'll have to see. So that's going to be coming up as well as far as that goes, and we do have more new products on the way. And if you haven't checked out the website and gone to the new products page tab, you'll see that we have added more new products from companies like Detail Factory, right?
Yeah.
With their wheel face brush. We have a couple new brushes in there. We also have some, I think, just a couple other random things. Maybe you might have caught it, but we did have a very small restock of GFX on the website.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking less than 100 bottles or something like that. That Kosh said, hey, we have these. This is all that's left.
Yeah.
Do
That's what
want
you
them?
get.
And we said,
That's it.
yes, we'll take those immediately. So
I love how it smells like eggnog.
it smells like Christmas.
It's just weird. It
There's like
smells.
hints of pine
There's so many
trees.
different scents in it
the wreath
that
in
it
there.
smells different to every single person. That's the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so head if you missed out on GFX, it's now available. And I picked up a couple bottles for myself because
I
didn't want to
I'm
miss
gonna
out.
take one of those.
And you're now, if I just take the
bucket
garbage
tag.
bags.
but you're able to take it anywhere you want and utilize it.
I mean,
I'm surprised you're not putting more use to it out back.
Well, I let Nick borrow it for a camping trip, and I think it went pretty well.
He loved it. He said it worked great.
So, and I don't know if I may want it back after the usage, but we'll see.
Once it's used, it's no longer yours. It's whoever used it. That's theirs now.
Anyways, that's it. That's all we got for housekeeping. I mean, it's
that's it.
But we are back here, and you're probably wondering what's been going on with us being sick or out. So we'll start with Levi Gates.
Oh, hey guys,
tell us, man.
Well, so as you all know, last week I was out with COVID. So. Needless to say, that put a damper on my weekly activities.
Yeah.
So pretty much just chilled out at home. I had about 3 days of heavy symptoms, and then the rest has been like this, pretty much fine,
just
normal,
chilling,
no problems. So that's been good. The picture you saw in the beginning, Suburban broke on me.
Yeah, people were taking bets on why the Suburban got towed.
Yeah, so basically, Thursday afternoon, I went to go pick up the children from school. Hopped in the Suburban, backed out of my driveway, turned onto my street, turned the wheel as I roll forward. Because I'm one of those gents, because I've driven a lot of non-power steered vehicles, I roll. I make sure I'm in motion when I'm turning my wheel, which is what you're supposed to do technically.
Sure.
So, anyway, I get rolling, get up to the stop sign. I'm now 2 houses away from my house, from my driveway. Come to a stop, wait for traffic, go to put my foot down and turn the wheel to turn left, and as soon as I do it, I hear a giant bang.
Oh, no.
The steering doesn't work. Well, the steering works. I can turn the wheel all the way to left lock, all the way to right lock, but my wheels do not turn. My wheels are stationary.
Okay. Oh, no.
So now I'm stuck right on the intersection, and I back up thinking, well, I'll just go straight back to my house then. No, can't do that because at the angle in which I am is actually a diagonal of the street.
Oh, no.
Because the way that my road is shaped.
Sure.
So in my head, I'm like, oh, I'll just go back to my house. Well, I can't. So I end up parking my truck into someone else's yard.
Okay.
To get it off the street.
Sure. I'm sure they loved that.
Yeah. Contact a tow truck. They send a tow truck out. I tell them in my comments, because it's all automated through your insurance. Do you have any comments? Yes, I need a wrecker or something with a wheel lift because my front wheels are immobilized. And then they send out a flatbed. And the guy's like, dang, wish I had a wrecker or a wheel lift because I can't do anything. And I go, that's why I don't know why they sent you. So anyway, we get it pulled off to the side, get it out of the person's yard, pulled off to the side of the road. He's like, this is what's broken. This is where it snapped. I can see it. Figure it out. So Sunday, because we had snow that Friday morning, I figured the tow companies were crazy with all the accidents and everything. Then Saturday it rained, it calmed down a little bit. So Sunday I called again, got it scheduled to send a wrecker out, pick up the truck, take it to Les Schwab, and have the pitman arm replaced. So the bolt that connects the pitman arm to the center link snapped. So that's why my steering wheel with the pitman arm attached could spin freely, but my wheels wouldn't turn because those two, that's what turns the whole unit. So anyway, getting that fixed. The biggest thing, though, is we are trying to stay healthy as a family.
You should.
Or get sick, I guess, now. Because next week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we are going to be in Disneyland as a family for the first annual Gates Family Disney
Get it out
trip.
of the system.
This is the 10th annual Carly Goes to Disneyland or 11th annual Carly Goes to Disneyland trip.
But now you're there.
This is the first one with me and the children.
Wow.
Together and Carly. So
are you excited or what?
I'm so excited.
Which ride are you looking forward to the most?
So I have been tasked to go on all of them.
I feel like you're going to hang out in Galaxy's Edge a lot or something.
I'm excited to be in Galaxy's Edge.
Okay.
I'm going on all of them. So one of the cool things is we got Augie, because of his diabetes, we applied for a disability pass.
Nice. You guys are going to be getting through it so fast.
So it is the old school fast pass.
Yeah.
like what we did when we were with your sister at Disney World.
Yeah.
It's the closest that you could possibly get to that experience that we had, where she had we didn't have to wait when we were with her. She just took us through everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, that's cool.
So
I think,
that'll be
can
fun.
you do the same thing with irritable bowel syndrome?
Maybe.
I believe.
I need to be at the front of this line because you don't want me at the back of
Yes,
this line.
that's true.
No, so what it is you do have to go on, you do apply, they do a video interview, they ask, what problems, what issues, things like that. So they interviewed Augie
Yeah.
before and after the
Okay.
Thanksgiving break.
Yeah.
So that was quite fun to have those things. And then I did have something that I needed to discuss. It happens to be with a show called Ahsoka. And it's a piece of information that we started to discuss. How did you make it through that whole series without watching Rebels, Anthony Fisher?
I watched it and I just said it was not a good show.
But
It's very simple. It's
It's
not that good of a
Rebels
show.
season 5 is all it is.
Yeah, but it's basically very boring, and there was only a couple standout episodes amongst all 7 or 8 of them. And I will say that there was so much filler content that I just couldn't even.
Filler, it was perfect.
I couldn't even
season.
believe how much filler content there was.
I'm just going to be real. The only Star Wars I enjoyed, other than the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian, did not enjoy the third. I like Andor and the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian, and that was it.
Yeah.
But
The other
you have
shows
not-
I've done, I did not enjoy Obi-Wan Kenobi. I did
Yeah,
not
but you
find
didn't
that
watch
enjoyable.
Rebels.
And I didn't watch Rebels or Ahsoka, so I can't really comment on those.
Dana, I would do this. I would watch the last season of Rebels, season 4.
But how,
See, I have
that
nothing
is
against
it's
Rebels.
unfair
I think
for them to
because-
expect us to watch a cartoon before watching a live
They
action.
told everybody. That's what it is.
That's ridiculous.
They said watch the last season of
No.
Rebels, so you
should
know what you're coming
They should
into.
have started it off from the
If
beginning.
I
all
felt
the
more invested in it,
characters.
I used to love Star Wars, but frankly,
Yeah.
I'm a little like they marveled it too much. I'm not interested.
I went on
Andor
that-
was unique,
You guys
so
know
I
I went on
enjoyed
that
that a lot.
Star Wars kick. I watched.
I know you're
watched-
great
I
at it,
froze
but
it
you
up. It
didn't
was like
watch
2
any of
months.
the animated stuff.
I don't want to watch
Part of the
animated
canon.
stuff.
It's still part of the
It's-
canon.
I don't want to. I would rather try to have my own interpretation of things,
Yeah.
right? Than seeing like these little.
movie like Prestige TV. Like
Yes.
I enjoyed that
Yes.
a lot.
Tony Collette and Adam Scott, great movie.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap, funny, spooky, scary, but funny. Like I really enjoyed it. So we got to do that, and then we started Dial of Destiny, Indiana
okay.
Jones with the kids, as of the day before yesterday. Again, trying to get ready for going to Disneyland because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of that about.
Yeah.
So
How'd you feel about the de-aging at the beginning?
Totally fine. I thought they did a great job.
I mean, they
with
did
it.
the
It
best
didn't-
they could.
Didn't take me
Yeah.
out of the movie at all,
I
which
found-
usually it does, but it didn't take me out at all.
I felt a little
So,
empty at the end of the movie, but I enjoyed the ride while I was watching it.
I'm
So,
really impressed so far. So, as a person who is a big fan of it,
to even
but I'm
do half of that
amazed.
stuff,
I'm still
so.
amazed. I'm like, it looks great. Not at any time did it look like it was a fake set.
Like
right?
you
So-
know it is, but in the moment you're not really thinking about it.
Right, but it looked
Yeah.
good. It came out really well. So anyway, if you haven't seen it, I recommend it. I'm so far enjoying it. And then you brought up the Godzilla. I'm very intrigued by it.
Oh man.
I love the Godzilla
Okay.
Kong stuff. I love the new Monarch. I've seen all the
Okay.
movies.
I've been
I know
enjoying
all
the
that
show so
stuff.
far.
Document
each churro.
each churro,
Okay.
each one, each for each day.
Churro counts.
So Dane, let's talk about your weekend. Let's talk about Godzilla.
All right, so I'll just start off with the movie review because, frankly, it was like one of the best things. Like it was so good. Now, as far as Godzilla movies go, there are a lot of people who appreciate the classics, and then there's all those cheesy man in a rubber suit ones that happened through the 50s, 60s, 70s, all that. And then there's some cartoons and other
Yeah.
things like that too. But as far as the movies of them that I've seen, including a few of the man in a rubber suit ones, all that kind of stuff, which I enjoyed as a kid, they were kind of fun.
Yeah,
and
I used to
silly.
watch them all the time.
But like the original Godzilla, the 1954 one, is actually pretty decent. I watched it again last night just to remind myself. But yeah, that one's actually solid. The editing, of course, is 50s style editing. So if you understand it's a slower movie, some of the edits are a little weird and clashy, but the story being told is good. And that was the thing that I really appreciated about this new one, Minus One, because it actually goes back even further in time. Rather than being in the 50s, it takes place in post-war Japan, World War II. At the very beginning of it, it is right at the edge of the end in 1945 of World War II. So it's very, very interesting, the time period that it sets in. And then all the stuff that builds off of that. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone about this movie, but what I can say is the good Godzilla movies, because there's frankly a lot of bad ones. We understand there's a lot of cheesy bad ones. The ones that I consider to be enjoyable and good would be Minus One, which is this new one. I like the original, and I like the 2014 version in its own way, because I thought that one at least tried to have compelling human characters and stuff, and that's kind of the big important part of this is like if your human characters are at least halfway interesting, then the movie is probably going to be a little better as a whole. If you're just sitting there waiting for the big lizard to come and destroy stuff, and you're just like slogging through the human parts to get to that, then the movie's probably not going to be very enjoyable for most people. Because some people want to see big, animals wreck things, but at the same time, if your actual story isn't compelling, then you only have half of a good movie.
No.
At best. So that's what I loved about Godzilla Minus One. That is what blew me away about it, was the human story in it was so good it could stand alone as its own movie. Like just as like I was like, yeah, you'd be mad too if you were him. But in this case, it's just it's just fascinating the way they tell the story, because it feels this movie, what I love about it is it has like strong elements like Jaws and stuff in it, where it has like the surprise elements and like literally a lot of like aquatic naval stuff goes on in this. It's really, it's fun. It's different than what I expected from a lot of, Godzilla movie stuff. But you can see I'm getting excited about it. I want to go watch it again. I really enjoyed it a lot. But without spoiling anything too much, just the main character story is very compelling.
Yeah.
All the characters you get in it are actually interesting and rounded and like have interesting motivations, and you're in it the whole way through. Like you're not out of it. There are parts where maybe the movie might feel slow, but it doesn't feel slow because you're actually invested in the characters and what's going on. So I can't say enough good things about it. I just love this one. And Neil's right. On a $15 million budget, they made this thing look better than most of the $100+ million budget movies out there. Like it was so good. Like even though it has its moments where it's like, okay, that was like a little After Effects-y kind of quick whatever, like whatever 3D thing. It only happens in brief moments where you kind of go because most of it is super great, and it doesn't change the fact that the story's good. So that's what you care about. So you're in it. You're invested the whole way through. At least I was.
You
looking around
very
online,
passionate about this movie, Dane.
I mean, and no joke, Neil White's right. The Atomic Breath was better than Nolan's Oppenheimer. I loved Oppenheimer as a movie, but I will say the Atomic Breath explosion, that's the thing. Atomic Breath, usually in Godzilla movies, is just like a heat ray. It's like he just breathes it out, and it's just like laser kind of blast. Yeah. In this, it literally creates a nuclear bomb blast where it hits. So it's crazy. It's the most hardcore, awesome nuclear. Like, there's this one stands alone as a good movie separate from being a Godzilla movie. So I give it a super strong 9 out of 10 in my book. It was super, super good. So if you're thinking about it, if you're like, I don't know if I like a monster movie, you might like it anyway. Like, it's actually a really good story about redemption and all these other... I'm really trying to avoid spoiling anything, but just go watch it. Even if you're on the fence, lean on the side that makes you watch it. That's what I'll say. Okay. All right. Other than that, separating from the whole movie thing, because I went and saw that on Friday night, I sold some tires. Really happy about that. Sold off some snow tires from the old Jag because not using them right now.
So how'd you celebrate selling those tires?
I took the cash up to the ATM, and then the ATM broke when I tried to put the cash in.
Keep that in your pocket.
That's why you don't sell snow tires.
That's why you don't sell them.
That was great. So
you're supposed that cash was supposed to go back to the tire shop
to
buy another set.
I was really worried the first time I put a bill in, and it was just like bleh, and it gave it back, and I'm like, oh, don't tell me this guy gave me like bad bills or something. It took him eventually, but it took like 6 tries. Yeah, I was horrified. I was like, oh no. But it was this guy and his girlfriend. She was getting the tires for her Mustang. Yeah. So she had like a 2006 or 7 Mustang, but it was sliding through the parking lot because it was still snowy that day. Yeah. Like in the parking lot, just trying to get there. So I'm like, okay, yeah, you guys could use them. Nice. So They went to a good home.
So they
I was
only
happy
bought
to see
two?
that. They only bought two because the thing is my
front
set
tires.
of tires were a staggered set.
Yeah.
So I had two 45s, which were my front tires, and then I had two 75s, which there's not a lot of cars that have tires that wide.
Yeah.
That are in this low profile. Because like SUVs sometimes have tires that wide, sure, but this is like Corvette or Porsche.
Well, it's a 30
or like
series, isn't it?
It's a 30 series, so it's big but thin.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a little hard to come by, but they're awesome tires. So hey, if anybody's still looking, I got a pretty good deal on a pair of them if you need them. But anyway, apart from that,
I'm thinking we put those on the back of Liz's car.
oh, that'd be hilarious. they fit around the whole tire, like they're bigger
Just
than
set
the
'em
wheel.
on the tire.
Yeah.
Come on. It
It would just, the car would just bounce on it, just slide like a sled.
Roll off.
on in the control arm.
be-
It'd cause a horrible
Then it would
accident.
cause like Hitman arm
Not be
situation.
good at all.
Oh, just terrible things. But probably gave me some garbage Canadian plastic loony money. No. Anyway, apart from that, I also participated in the shop crawl that was going on this weekend, the IDA shop crawl.
A good
That
turnout.
was really cool. I was super impressed with the turnout. Now, granted, I didn't go to all the locations like
Yeah.
most
I
of
showed
the
up like
people
you.
did.
I showed up for that.
But I
for
showed up here
1 hour
to
here
help
at the Rag
stage
Company.
stuff and get it ready,
Yeah.
and then I hung out for the whole period while everyone was here.
How long
And
did everybody
at
stay?
MVP. People stayed
So I
here
got
at
here
the
at
store.
4,
Yeah.
and that's when everyone started pulling up.
We were here until almost
That's
7.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
so we were here pretty late. But no, it was
We
very,
had a food truck, and
very good. Yeah, we had a food truck serving
We
up
had-
to everybody.
TMPNS was here, right? So we
Yeah.
had
yeah, we had all the PNS.
Keith and
We had
Bob. We had Sid,
tons
obviously.
of folks.
Yeah,
that
and we
showed
had
up,
Flex.
too.
We had Chris
Yeah.
Metcalf here.
Flex was here.
And then we had a lot of different detail shops. We had like the Kimballs here. We
a
had
ton of different.
We had our friends
Pacific
from Oregon
Northwest.
over
Yeah,
here.
Andy
yeah,
and
Andy and them. And then we had actually some like rival supply companies even showed up, which was shocking.
that was really
Yeah.
cool. Mark from Specialty
Yeah,
Supply showed up.
He was in this store, and
Yeah.
and
they visited his
Connor
store.
from here was in his store.
Yeah,
so it was like, oh, wow,
that was
okay.
really what it was about. And then I saw some detailers that I haven't seen in years.
Yeah, I was like, you look familiar, but
That
I
were
feel like I
here.
haven't seen you in ages.
Well, it was funny. One of the guys showed up and was talking to Tom Smith of
Yeah.
Buckbright and was like, "Hey, what's up, man? You just stopped coming by my shop?"
Oh.
And he's like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, man, I haven't seen you in like 6 years." And Tom goes, "It's because I sold the business."
You're standing in.
And he goes, "Oh." And then he looks at Connor and he goes, "Oh, that's the guy you sold it to?" And he
Yeah.
goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh, yeah. Oh, I was wondering." Like he didn't.
He never followed up
He
on
never
that.
followed
I was
up.
wondering, but I guess I wasn't
Well,
wondering
apparently
that
they've
hard
been
because I didn't
supplying
bother
him.
to check any
Yeah, and
further than
apparently
that.
Connor's been supplying him. So they were both like,
He just
all
looks
three of
over, he's
them
like,
were-
this guy?
Yeah, all three of them were looking at each other, and Connor's like, "Yeah, dude, I'm like the bills. Like if the
so funny.
company didn't change, but that guy just didn't look at."
I love that though.
He didn't
where
look at the
somebody's-
business. He just looked at the person that he was buying
Right.
from, and so he was like, "What's up, man? You left me high
Well,
and dry.
it's
I had
just
to
so
go with
funny.
this guy to buy product." He's like, "No, I sold the business to that guy."
But it's so funny that somebody is about to give somebody a whole lot of grief for not showing up for something. It's like, you didn't bother to do the basic due diligence to find
Yeah,
out that this
no, he
changed.
didn't.
Just some other guys started showing up in the same branded truck and everything. Maybe we talked. No, I wasn't interested
Trucks are
enough to
loaded.
actually
Yeah,
check.
he literally-
So don't come at me saying I
That
stopped
was
showing
it.
up.
Was the funniest thing to like stand there right when that happened, because it was
That's
like
just silly.
it it was so funny to see Tom and Connor looking at each other like,
what?
like, and JJ going
sitting
like,
there
"Dude,
going,
I
"We
stop by
supply
your
you, dude."
shop every day, like every week," and he's like, "Huh? Wait, oh, wait, what?" Like it was so funny to see how that guy had just never
Yeah, suddenly
put
the
two and
pieces
two
fell.
together, and then he's like,
No
"Well, good
harm,
for
no
you. So
foul.
you're like retired now, then, huh?" And Tom's like, "Yeah, well, I'm doing this now."
I was going to say he's far from retired.
No,
if you
but
were
it
to
was-
look at the other things he's doing, he's constantly finding new little tweaks and inventions to play
Yeah,
with.
so it was just a really funny
That
moment
is funny.
to see that happen and go, "Wait, what?"
But yeah,
But-
no, that's good. So yeah, the whole event was really solid. I got a bunch of video that I'm still trying to figure out what I can do with from Rod and Jody, who were there from Somewhere.
Yeah.
They recorded at each of the locations, so they gave me some video footage of each of the stops so that we could potentially use it for something. I don't know, maybe. But yeah, no, that was nice, and it sounded like Adam Batali showed up at the after hours one that followed up after here. They went to Dave & Buster's.
Oh, fun.
So they all went there. I still had to go home after here,
Yeah.
but my dad went with them, and I think Brodel was up there too, and several of the PNS crew, and Chris from Flex and all them. So, yeah, no, it was a good turnout. Sounded like they had fun.
I stuck around for an hour, said hi to the folks that I needed to say hi to, and then I was getting hot.
Okay,
standing in the building, and I was like,
it was toasty.
So I walked out, and that's when I talked to you, and you were standing in line for the food truck, and I was like, I'm out. I'm gonna go home.
Fine.
Like
totally
how's the
fine.
food truck though?
Food truck was good. It was off the griddle, so it's solid.
really
we know
delicious.
that one.
Burgers? Was it burger yet?
I got tenders this time. I hadn't
Tendies?
tried their
Nice.
tendies because I wasn't as hungry this time, so I just figured I'd go lighter.
Yeah.
But it was very nice. And apart from that, it was funny because leaving here, the reason I couldn't go to my niece and nephew's birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese was because we're here doing this thing.
Yeah.
But my dad was going up to the Dave & Buster's thing, so he's like, I think I have just enough time to get up to the Chuck E. Cheese. And it was just funny, like, them describing their experience going from kids Chuck E. Cheese to adult Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
Nice.
you got a taste of both.
just how different the experience is while feeling also completely the same.
Yeah, pretty much.
funny.
So that's a fun parallel. But apart from that, no, it was great movie, and then had the event, and then on Sunday ended up going out and doing some Christmas ornament shopping with my folks. So I cheated on Express Cafe, I'm sorry to say. It happened.
No.
Yeah. Went to the Griddle with my folks there.
In Eagle?
And in Eagle,
Wonderful
over
place.
by where they are. And wonderful little time. Got some, fancy French toast. I got the Caribbean French toast.
One of my
so-
favorites with the coconut on it.
Coconut
It's
shavings all over
It's
it.
so good, Dane.
It was
Oh
like
my God.
candy, dude.
It is
was
literally candy. I hope
ridiculous.
you went with the sugar-free syrup, 'cause
nice.
otherwise it's a walking heart
No,
attack.
that was a lot.
There's a lot of sugar. Yeah.
But enjoyed that, and then proceeded to go downtown and walk around to like the Made in Idaho stores, stuff like that, and just had some fun looking, because that's kind of like a little tradition we've developed.
Did you go to that soap store?
Which soap store?
In Eagle? You went downtown Eagle and you walked around?
No, downtown Boise.
Oh,
we
gotcha,
went
okay.
from there to Boise because we talked about going to Eagle, but then everything in Eagle's like under construction on the street
is,
there,
yeah.
so we were kind of like, well, let's go downtown. Because there's a store we wanted to go to downtown Boise regardless, which was like the Made in Idaho store. So they had a lot of cool stuff that was all made by like local artists and crafters, sculptors, whatever. But also people just like, making soaps and other stuff too. It's like a flea market, but inside of a building where it's a permanent store, a brick and mortar place. And then, because this is a tradition we've had going for a few years now, we're like, we'll just make it a thing. Every year we try and get some new ornaments, because the problem is we're making up for... Unfortunately, we used to have a lot of ornaments that went clear back to like the 50s, 60s, and earlier, and then they got destroyed by mice in my parents' like attic and in storage, unfortunately, when it was the off season. So we're kind of trying to make up for a lot of that lost stuff and try and create new memories and new things. So this is our process. It's just like every year picking up a couple ornaments each to decorate the tree with. And I like that. I think it's a nice little touch. I'm usually not the most sentimental guy, but I like this stuff. So anyway, that was a nice thing.
Yeah.
But apart from that, what I was trying to say was, in the building. So the building has like Wise Guy Pizza Pie, Jimmy John's, all that stuff downtown Boise.
I think I know which one you're talking
Which-
about.
The one
Which building?
6 and Main. Basically, you're Mr. Boise.
I'm trying to picture where this.
It's across the
Wise
street
Guys
from the
Pizza-
police station, City Hall. It's kitty corner from the reef.
Okay, the old boys.
Yeah, so
it's the
if
old
you
Boise
go
building.
diagonal from the reef, there's a Jimmy John's on the corner. Well, further up in that same building, there's the Made in Idaho store.
Yeah.
And then if you go inside,
Yeah, it's
you
the
can
old
walk down the
Boise.
aisle and it's old Boise.
known
But
as
it's
Old
cool
Boise
because when you're
building.
in that building, you're actually
Did you go to
like
the trains?
outside of an old building. So that was what I was going to get to.
All right,
We're
there you
walking
go.
around and looking at this thing, and Liz and I are just kind of like wandering around checking out the upper levels because I hadn't actually bothered to check out the
Cool
catwalk
building.
and the other stuff.
Yeah.
It's neat. But also, when you're in this building, you're kind of in an alleyway of what used to be a front facade of a building,
Correct.
and now they covered it and built around it, and now it's covered. It feels like you're in a building. But when you're in there, you're like, there's like cobblestone and stuff.
Yeah.
We're on an old street or alleyway. It's kind of neat
Yeah.
the way it's all built out. Almost doesn't seem real, but it is. And that guy has a crazy cigarette collection that's like all the really like old packs. But
It's a really cool building just to go wander
it sounds
on a Sunday
lame,
afternoon like that
but
in the rain.
It sounds lame, but Liz and I absolutely love looking around at like all the old art styles and all these old cigarette packs and like all the cool designs they had and stuff. But then they also had like what appeared to be all these like little bottles from like mini bars, like little mini liquor bottles. It's like, what's going on there? But anyway, as we finished up getting the ornaments and stuff in the Made in Idaho store, we were turning the corner and we couldn't find my dad. We thought he went to the bathroom. We're like, you know what happened now. So we turn the corner and I see a hand sign, like a sign that's a hand pointing down the stairs. Like this whole area is just kind of like weird and cobbled together.
It's a funky building.
But there's like a basement. And when you walk in the front door, there's just a stairway you can go down. And if you go down it, you look around. There's a whole model railroad down there, and it's run by a club that does these. Like, it's a whole thing. And they take
a full club.
They take donations. They're like a, what is it, a 501c3 or whatever? And, so my dad was just down there getting lost in the sauce with the trains and all that stuff.
I'm surprised Jeff Hennon hasn't built himself
he didn't know
a model
was
train
down there.
I'm surprised he hasn't.
When I was
either.
growing up, we had a Gauge model railroad in the garage, a full setup. He built it and everything. Like he has the stuff and he has the know-how and understands how that all works.
It rekindled the fire.
That was the thing. When he got down there, though, he looked and he was just like, like it's really cool setup. So he was suddenly going, and the twinkle in his eye, and my mom was so happy. It was so funny to watch her just look over and smile. She's like, "Oh my God, he's in it. He's looking at the train.
He's in it.
He's in it.
So good.
The drip is
so
come
that's
back.
what's happening.
He's
Yeah.
just like scratching his neck. It's like,
So
gonna get a taste.
spend some money this weekend.
It turned out that they have like viewing hours, and it's free to go down there, but they take donations. It turns out they have viewing hours, but Sunday was not one of those days they were open. It just so happened the guy who runs it was bored at home and decided to come into work and open it up and go walking around looking at a few things because he just thought he had a few things to catch up on. He was getting ready to leave when he caught my dad, and oh no, now he's there for a while.
Yeah.
So they ended up chatting a bunch, and my dad ended up learning a lot more about this. I think he's going back. I think he's even going to potentially be donating. I think they may be helping him with some stuff. It's pretty cool
because it's just a big train set.
Yeah.
It's a big model railroad, has a ton of lines, but it's not just the railroad. It's actually like mountain ranges designed to look like places in Idaho and all this stuff.
Yeah,
like
they
it's
did
all
it
built out.
It's really cool.
And
It's one
so
of those
the
things,
donations, the purpose of the donations isn't to just like buy more trains or something. It's actually so they can rent more of the building so they can expand their landscape. So
but the main thing is you just watch this train.
Yeah, go around.
No. You don't watch it though. You get to run it. And you can run them off a cell phone. You can run them off of remote controls. You can do stuff. They smoke. They can go like different directions. Polarity
all
can
kinds
shift.
of
Like
cool
all
stuff.
kinds of
It's
stuff.
actually
You can
really
you can
fun.
deliver things with them.
Sure.
I want to take Augie.
Deliver my phone.
It's
from one
pretty
side of
neat.
the rail
Things
to
where
the other.
It's pretty rad.
So
So I want to.
my
take
mom
Augie
took
to
the
check it
brochure
out.
though, so I know my dad will be going back like during their open hours. I think he wants to join their club now.
Your dad's gonna build a. Your dad's gonna
Jeff.
rent one of those shops.
He's gonna
one
have
of
a
those-
hat
yeah.
on and
Yes.
everything.
He's
What's
gonna
for
go.
real?
He's gonna go rent a car storage facility that's only gonna be used for his model cars.
What's he been
and-
doing at night? He's been disappearing into
Tables.
that weird warehouse.
He goes in the basement of a building downtown.
Yeah.
It is though, because like the ceiling's low. It's
Oh,
in a
it
basement
is.
of
It's a
an old
basement.
building built
Yeah.
in the early 1900s. But yeah, no, it's great.
Super
I love
cool.
it. So anyway, that was a fun term. But yeah,
Nice.
that's basically where the day kind of ended on that. But that was my weekend essentially. Just a
Nice.
fun little
Easy,
detour of
yeah.
unexpected things. But man, I can't say enough good things about that movie, man. You should go check it out. I'll watch it with you guys. If you want to go see it with me, I'll go see it again.
That might be the case,
All right.
Dane.
All right.
Anyway, Anthony.
Let's see. So, give you guys an update. I have been feeling obviously under the weather for like a month and a half, almost 2 months now. So how this really started out was with basically a very minor upper respiratory infection.
Correct. I believe
Just-
you said your mother had bronchitis,
Yeah, it was like something
and
she
you
thought
you might have got it from
yeah.
her, but that was
It was like a
confirmed
toss-up.
not
It was
to
like,
get it.
It's been like a whole mystery thing.
Yeah.
But like basically, it started out with a sickness that
Yeah.
started probably around my daughter's birthday party.
Yeah.
Right. Turned into an
I
upper
thought maybe you
respiratory
would
infection.
burn the candle both ends
Yeah.
on that party because of all the work you had to do. and
Possibly.
how much time and talking and all that.
Possibly. Maybe I was just my immune system was just run down because I'd been going so hard in the paint, right?
Yeah.
With multiple different things, right? Car projects, daughter's birthday, house projects, whatever else it may have been, right? So anyways, so I just not been feeling great, but this was back in October. I eventually started feeling better. I got on, I don't know, I can't think of Mucinex, a little bit of medicine, things like that. I started making a turnaround. Then we went to SEMA. SEMA, I was actually feeling pretty good for SEMA for the most part. Like, I mean, I wasn't horrible. I was still taking my Mucinex. I remember my nose really dried out really bad because I wasn't drinking enough water. And
Everybody was drying out there, like lips chapping and stuff.
Like
where you
lips were
normally wouldn't
chapped.
get it.
My nose was like bleeding, like literally because I just, again, I wasn't drinking enough water and it was SEMA week and it was just a hectic week.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I was actually feeling better during SEMA week. Then I got back home and then like my sickness like restarted, right?
Yeah.
Kind of started out with another fever again, a little bit of a sore throat. I go, oh my God, I'm getting sick again for like what the heck's going on, right? It's restarting. So it's like I kind of got over it, but I didn't really get over it. So then it restarts. And that's when I went back, and that's when I started having like kind of wheezing issues, right, in the lungs. And I was like, what's going on with my lungs? I don't know. Go to the doctor. They said, hey, we're going to get you on a little bit, look on some steroids, right?
Yeah.
Get you all fixed up. So that sounds good, right? Jump on those, felt better, got off of them, felt worse. And I was like, I don't feel good anymore, right? Started having these wheezing issues again in my lungs. And the wheezing wasn't like, how do I say it? It was wheezing, but it was like annoying wheezing. It was just like, it wasn't like I couldn't breathe. It was just more or less like, I don't know what's going on. But
Somebody strapped an accordion to the back of your like airway.
Yeah, it just kind of sounded like I had a bunch of animals inside my lungs and I'm breathing at night, right? It was just annoying. So, but it wasn't like I was completely down, right? Like my energy wasn't completely drained. I was just still feeling under the weather. I'm still hacking up stuff, right? I'm hacking a bunch of phlegm. And so fast forward a little bit further, and I go back to the doctor, and they say, we're going to get you on another prescription dose of like another steroid, and we're going to get you on an antibiotic. You might have an infection or something like that. We're going to treat you for that now. So I jump on that, run that for however many days, come off of that, and I felt better. I'm like, okay, I think I feel pretty good. And then fast forward to just this last week, right? I'd come off of my last medication on like, I think it was like a Sunday or Monday. And then it was like that Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, bam, dude, I started feeling bad again. Like my breathing, like the wheezing issues started coming back. And then it was Thursday because we had been shooting some videos here. I kind of told the guys, I go, man, like if I'm, really talking a lot and using my diaphragm, and then I'm also, let's just say, coding a car or detailing, like I'm fine. I'm getting pretty winded pretty fast, and I still feel like I haven't like fully recovered yet from this sickness. So I just said, hey, I don't want to push myself too hard. Well, it was like Thursday. We'd finished up shooting a video, I think on Wednesday, which you guys will see here in the next week or two. And I went home Thursday night, and I was like, dude, this breathing thing, for some reason, like I actually feel like I can't get enough of a breath in. Like this it kind of freaked me out. I was like, I'm really actually having issues right now. And so I ended up using my inhaler a bunch, and more than I probably would have liked to. And then I was like, you know what, dude, I got to go to urgent care again because I got to go see if I can either get on a nebulizer or get on something just to kind of clear me out. And keep in mind, I've gone to an urgent care at this time like 4 times over the last like month and a half, almost 2 months. Yeah. I'm sick of it. I don't want to. I'm just tired of going to the doctor at this point. I probably spent a ridiculous amount of money, first and foremost, and also I just I'm usually never I don't go to the doctor that very often, right? It's not something I'm usually not very sick.
You're making up for lost time.
I'm not sick often. I usually am okay, but I was like, God, I got to go back. So I ended up going back, and they go, dude, your blood pressure is pretty high right now. And I go, really? And they're like, yeah, like much higher than probably it normally is. And they're like, are you like, what's going on? Are you stressed? I'm like, yeah, I'm stressed. I've been dealing with this for like 2 months, and I need to get this be done with. I'm tired of having to deal with it. They go, okay, well, first and foremost, you got to start coming to urgent care. They go, you got to go to your primary care doctor. You got to have somebody start figuring this out.
You don't have a primary care doctor.
Well, I have one. My wife has her primary care doctor. She's been going to the same one for 15 years. I had one, right? Coolest guy ever. When I was a teenager, all the way up until I was in my mid-20s, right? Loved this dude. He was hilarious. He was fun. He was super smart, but he also cared a whole lot. He retired. And I go, crap, right? So I spent a couple of years looking for a different primary care doctor, somebody I'd really get along with. But it was was always hit or miss, right?
Yeah.
I went to a couple different people, and I'd go, God, I'm like, this guy
You
is...
tried
this
the
guy-
one
had
I
one,
tried in
yeah.
Meridian where it was that
Yeah,
one
this
guy,
guy
and
is
he
no-
could not care less.
He could- Yeah, there's
and
just-
I had that. I had a guy that I was with for the last probably 15 years, 16
Yeah.
years. He did good by me, but
Yeah.
it was almost like he always forgot who I was.
Yeah.
And then he'd look and he's like, oh, yeah, okay. Oh, we did that. Oh, okay, never mind. Okay. So
Yeah.
this year, I changed and got a new primary care doctor for that reason.
Okay.
And now I'm actually utilizing the My Chart and asking him questions. Hey, here's stuff I need to know. Here's
Yeah.
this, here's that. And he's able to converse with me back and forth. And that's been really nice.
Nice.
So I do think it's time to invest in a good primary care
Yeah.
doctor.
So anyway, that's what they told me. And they said, hey, we're going to write you another prescription for another thing of another whatever, some type of pack, some type of
Yeah.
steroid pack, whatever it is, and another antibiotic. But you get a primary care doctor. So I said, screw this, dude. I'm like, I went home that night after doing the nebulizer treatment, and within hours, the breathing issues had come back again. And I go, this is not good, right? So I'm on my inhaler through the night, and I'm like, God, what's going? You know what I mean? I'm just
Yeah.
kind of like, I'm just trying to think what could possibly be going on at this point in time. So
Yeah.
I went to the doctor the next day, and I was like, all right, here I'm at this primary care doctor my wife goes to. I'm like, I'm here. I'm fully committed. And I told this
Make it
the-
stop.
the lady there that she was I think she was not a nurse. She's either she's a PA or she's a nurse practitioner, but she was like, we're gonna do this. We're gonna get through this. I'm like, gotcha. She's like, I want you to blow through this thing though, and show me what your lung capacity is
Yeah.
right now.
And you
I
go,
blow
I can
through
do
that.
it.
And she goes, your lungs are at like 50% capacity right now. I go, awesome. And she goes, yeah, like that must have been extremely hard for you to do. And I'm like, yep, I feel like I'm about to pass out right now. And she goes, yep, that sounds about right. So anyway, went in for like my fourth x-ray. I don't even know what the heck it was at this point. And then she finally, they basically said what we need to do is figure out what's causing the inflammation, whether it's an infection, whether it's a prolonged thing from this upper respiratory infection you got, whatever it is that's causing it. Is it
Right.
pneumonia? What is it? What could it possibly be? So we did an x-ray, and then they basically said, hey, it looks like there's something that looks kind of like a pneumonia, maybe possibly in your left lung, probably not, maybe not. Regardless, you might also have asthma. And I go, I don't have asthma. I've never had asthma in my entire life.
You can always develop it.
And they go, you can develop asthma at any age. Plenty of people have asthma, but they go, it's either asthma, an infection, or it's some weird freak thing that's happening right now that we just got to get under control, and hopefully it'll go away and you won't have to deal with it again. And I'm like, well, whatever it is, I'm just hoping that this isn't, going to last forever because this is strange. Like I've never had this before. So they told me, they go, well, you're not going to like this. We're going to get you on more steroids. And I go, oh my God. I'm like, I've been on like 3 rounds in the last month. Is that safe? And they go, it's not ideal, but there's people that live life on steroids every single day. And I go, I don't want that to be me. I just
I don't want to be one of those people.
I don't want to be one of those people. I just don't know if this is. And they're like, no, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Yeah, you're a big guy. And I go, what does that have to do with anything? And they go, well, yeah, but
You can handle it.
You
You'll
got
be
a lot
all
of
right.
room in there.
You'll be good.
You know, so they're like, we're gonna get you on that. We're gonna get you on these horse pill, like these literally like these horse tranquilizer size like antibiotics.
Oh, like the
And-
full size Mucinex.
And then they're like, we're gonna get you on what they say, we're gonna get you on a steroid inhaler, and then you're gonna keep using your albuterol. And I go, oh my God. I'm like, I've never been. This is crazy, man.
Yeah.
And they go, well, we gotta get this inflammation down. It's more important that you breathe.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty important.
Anyway, but they said that my blood pressure is high. I need to focus on that. So after I left that doctor's appointment, right, I was pissed, dude. I was just like, I am not getting freaking asthma, right? I am not. I don't
You
want.
called me.
I'm like, I do not want
Yeah.
asthma.
You
I
called me
do
to
not
vent.
want to be sick. I do not want to do this. And so I'm like, I asked the, still kind of like got this random kind of cough that comes, but I asked her, I said, what do I need to do? Like, give me everything. Am I drinking 1 gallon a day, 2 gallons a day of water? What am I eating? What am I drinking? I'll do anything. And she goes, well, I'd probably just try to eat some healthy, like, anti-inflammatory foods, and probably just make sure you're drinking a ton of water. I said, screw it, dude. I left there and I went home. I told my wife, I'm like, hey, I'm going to take the rest of this day off to relax. And then tomorrow I'm going to the grocery store. So went down to my friends over at Trader Joe's, right? Beautiful place. Obviously, wide variety of meats, cheeses, charcuterie boards, plenty of healthy options.
How'd you pronounce that?
What's that? Trader Joe's?
Charcuterie?
Charcuterie.
You call it charcuterie. You call it charcuterie.
Charcuterie board.
He says it like he's saying the color chartreuse.
Yeah, that's what we said.
Yeah.
That's how we pronounce it.
It's a charcuterie board. And anyways, and I'm like, let's freaking do this, dude. So I walked into that Trader Joe's like a boss.
Yeah.
And I walked in, I kicked the door open, and I said, "Give me this cart." I grabbed this cart from this old lady. I pushed her down.
Oh my God.
And she's like, "Oh my God!" I'm like,
I saw there was
I
said,
have a condition.
I
I
told
heard
her I
there
have
was
a
a pulse
condition.
point when they sent the
Yeah.
police to the location.
I said, "I have a
was worried
condition,
about
and I need
you.
to get over this, right?" And she's like, "I think you just broke my hip." And I go, "Quiet."
Yeah.
So grab my shopping cart, start pushing through the aisles, right?
Yeah, there's only like 4 aisles.
There's only
in that whole
4 aisles.
store.
It's actually
I
a
was going to say,
very,
it's not a
very
big store.
tiny.
very small store
It's
compared to
basically
what I
a big
thought.
convenience store.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, what am I getting? So I got like 5 different like unpasteurized, the juices and all the different like the health drinks and all this crap. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get this, and this. I'm going to get some like probiotic stuff. I got a crap ton of yogurt because I'm like, I'm probably going to have nothing in my body after all these damn antibiotics I've been taking. So I got all this yogurt, got all this other stuff, got some like salmon, got some like other random things. And I'm like, I'm committed. I have to, I'm going to eat nothing but pure, solid, like healthy things for forever, right? Not forever, but for like at least the next couple weeks, right? A bunch of fruit too. So my Saturday was basically just going through, laying down, periodically eating yogurts, periodically eating, legumes and other types of
for your lung issues.
beans and things like that for my lung issues. But right off the bat, I mean, I started feeling pretty good on like literally the following day, dude.
Yeah.
That freaking steroid inhaler they gave me, dude, thing like lights me up. Like I'm telling you, I get like it's not good. Like I need to manage my anxiety too while I'm doing all this stuff because again, I'm not a medicine
Joey
guy.
says a nebulizer gives him the shakes like a Bang Energy.
Oh,
I would
dude.
post your comments up, but they're actually not populating.
I
for the,
left
keyboard
after
here.
getting that nebulizer treatment that Thursday night, dude. I was like, oh my God, I can't sleep tonight, and like, there's no way. Like I don't know. It's just been weird. The whole last 4 weeks have felt like it's felt like a fever dream, right? Like things are, I'm not sure what's 100% real. I'm not saying I have like derealization, but there's definitely some like a lot of things going on, medication wise going up and down that I'm like, I don't like this. So, anyways, so I think it was like Saturday night, I was feeling pretty good. And so I was like, let's go see a movie. So I dropped my daughter off over at my parents' house, and me and my wife went to go see The Hunger Games. Ballad of the, or what is it?
It's
Not ballad,
one of those
Hunger
typical
Games,
very long titles
Songbirds.
where no one's really going to remember
Songbirds
it.
and Snakes Collide,
Yeah.
or it's like
Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes
Ballads
or
of
something.
Songbirds and Snakes, or maybe it's like a dance, an array of
Whatever the
songbirds
case.
and snakes, something like that. So we went to the movie theater, went prepared for it. 3-hour movie.
Holy cow.
3 hours,
no
2 hours and
thank
45
you.
minutes, right?
3-hour movie is good when it's Oppenheimer, but a Hunger Games
No,
movie
right.
for 3 hours? No.
Yeah. So we, what's it called? We went to energy drinks. I do love energy drinks. I really do. But we went to the movie, and okay, how do I begin to describe this? So I'm not a huge Hunger Games person, right? But I've seen all the movies. I don't not like them. Like I'll watch them and I'll be entertained, and I think that they're okay, right? I think that there's certain parts like they're pretty cringy.
It's the
Certain-
preeminent YA novel thing.
Yeah, there's
Outside of like Harry Potter.
Like I kind of look at it as like the Chronicles of Narnia, right? Like the Chronicles of Narnia and the Hunger Games, they're both watchable.
And then like the Divergent movies are somewhere down here, and the Maze Runner somewhere down here. It's all those YA
Divergent,
novel
Maze
things.
Runner, very low
Yeah.
compared to, I would probably say like Chronicles of Narnia and whatever it is. The
Chronicles of Narnia though is like classic. Like these other ones are much more modern.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that like in general, this the Hunger Games, I'm okay with it. So
Sure.
this one's different though. Like it starts off and I go, okay, so it's kind of dark. It's a little like ominous.
They're all dark
like,
if you think about it.
Well, I know it's dark, but it's kind of like more like I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like It's different, maybe because it's in the past, is what it is, right? It's the prequel to what goes on.
It's like grittier.
It was grittier, yes.
Okay.
It was interesting seeing the context in which this whole thing plays out, how the whole Hunger Game thing was created, right, and why they do this and all of that. But it was strange because there was a lot of parts where I go, wow, this is so long for no reason.
Yeah.
And then there's other parts where I go, that was good. Why didn't you guys just do that for longer, right? You keep more of this, maybe more action-y parts, or maybe keep a little bit more of this background information. Like, some of this stuff is interesting. But towards the end there, it kind of started getting weird. Like, it started getting kind of like...
In what way?
Like, the main characters, right? Like, they started getting, like, is kind of like, not suspenseful, but definitely it kind of became more, like, unsettling. And you go, oh, this is how this person became the bad guy or became crazy or whatever it is.
Yeah.
This was the arc, his villain arc type of thing. But we watched the full thing. Would I recommend it? Like, if you're a big fan of the Hunger Games and you want to go see it in theaters, sure, right? If you got 3 hours to kill, yeah. But I would say outside of that, wait to watch it when it starts streaming. And but I don't know. I don't know if that's the hard part. Streaming wise, I don't even know if you'd have the attention span for most people to sit through that.
I mean, Napoleon was a long movie too, but I also kind of felt like I would rather watch Napoleon than that. Although Napoleon, looking back on it, it was a good movie, but it wasn't like a great movie. I felt like 7 out of 10 for that one. This one,
The Hunger Games is 6.2, maybe 6.2 out of 10. Watchable. Like I said, you'll watch it. You'll watch the whole thing.
Okay.
But you'll just kind of be like, oh, it was interesting. All right. But you won't be like, I'm going to go watch the Hunger Games movies and restart them.
Yeah.
It's a different, it's kind of its own thing, kind of thing. I don't know how to describe it. So, but we did that. And then Sunday, my house is officially decorated for Christmas. I went up into the attic, right? Grant Hawtree's family home. I put a ton of stuff up in the attic, right?
Did you decorate for them?
They get the leftover decorations from the normal other seasons of the year.
Yeah.
But went up there. Let me just say, I am so grateful that I built out that space above my garage. Seriously, not just for his family, right?
Yeah. It's a good thing you did.
I get up there, dude, and I climb up there. I go, crap. I can't believe I did this. Like, this is great. With how much storage space I have up there, it's amazing.
Do you have lighting up there?
I don't have lighting, but that's something I do.
What about
It's a little tough this time of year to not have
how about this
lighting.
time? Maybe some magnetized lighting.
Well, I just turned my Scan Grip iMatch 3 on, right?
Correct.
I light up the whole freaking thing.
But I'm saying, what if you had some magnetized lighting that are battery powered, so you could like hit
Yeah,
the
I was
gonna
just,
say
hit them, just to give you some ambient.
Motion activated battery powered lights would be a very simple solution up there.
Could be quite nice.
I also wonder if I can get away with a solar light. There's not enough light that gets into the attic, right?
Yeah.
But there is the what's it called? The grates, right?
Yeah.
You have your front
You got
grate
your
of your home.
louvers, your
So you
shutters.
could run a wire onto your roof and put a solar panel on there to run that.
Yeah, I don't know, something like that. It just, I'm not crawling up there all the time. It's every couple of months.
That's what I'm saying.
But anyway, so I got up there. I put a bunch of stuff up. So at this point in time, I mean, my house is looking really good. My wife kicked a bunch of butt, and she got everything all cleaned up because it was getting chaotic for a couple weeks there. Probably not adding to my my blood pressure issues. But anyway, other than that, though, I mean, I just started eating really healthy, and I'm going to try to kick whatever this is, praying that it's not a long-term asthma-related thing, and I'm hoping this is just a freak situation. But I still have a few more days on medicine, and then I guess it's just probably inhaler treatments for a while, and fingers crossed that I will be full of breath, ready for extra diaphragm movement of video making and things like that, because we have a couple of videos we have to make this week, and they go, Anthony, these are like the videos that you've been wanting to make for a while. Like, these are your
They're
high
Levi's
energy.
ready to do them, but we want you to do them.
Like halfway through, he'll just be hacking up alone.
They're like, we want this high energy. I go, high energy, Anthony's isn't here right now. I can't talk for more than a few minutes without.
Although it sounds
breathing.
like they need to start shooting the second after you spike with a nebulizer or with the inhaler or whatever, and then
It's
game on.
gonna be Nick giving me a nebulizer treatment. He's sitting there like,
I got you here, buddy.
He's turning on my oxygen for me. He's like, all right, Anthony, we're gonna get you ready for this. Getting somebody like massaging my shoulders. All right, get out there. Yeah,
Get it in there.
But that was pretty much it. I didn't. Again, I wanted to rinseless wash multiple cars this weekend. I wanted to replace my thermostat on my Civic. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with my thermostat on my truck.
I got a thermostat for the Suburban.
I
got to put it in.
I have a bunch of things I have to do.
Did you get a Gates branded thermostat? I sent you for the truck?
Did not. I got an OEM one for my Honda, and I got haven't gotten one for the truck.
Get the
yet.
Gates one. It's great.
Possibly.
Great product.
Yeah, I'm just trying to lay low for like at least another probably week or so before I start attempting any projects just to see how well everything recovers. So,
But that's why you weren't on the podcast last week.
that's why I was on the podcast
On the
last week.
Q&A,
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. Mainly just I walked in. I kind of saw, I said hi to everybody before the show, but I was just like, guys, I can't. I got no breath. And then before you know, it, I was in urgent care like 4 hours later.
Yeah.
So
So good call.
I Saturday after I left here, called Carly and she's like, "Hey, the kids have eaten. What do you want for dinner?" And I said, "Gosh, I don't know. That's a good question."
Okay.
Called up Barrio.
Oh, did you? No, you did not.
Ooh.
Went over there. So they have an online menu.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'll order online. But they had no way to change or adjust online. So tried calling, no answer. So I drove down there, placed a to-go order.
Okay.
Waitress recognized me, asked, "Where's your wife? How was your trip? How did you enjoy the springs when the pre-SEMA trip?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh my gosh, thank you that was very nice of you." So I said, "Hey, I need to get the 10-minute nachos this way, and I need the quesadilla tacos."
Oh my god.
And
You're loving those tacos, aren't you?
So good. And she goes, "All right, perfect." And then I sat there about 7 minutes, made the food, brought it out to me, hopped in the car, drove home. Carly and I sat in the kitchen and ate those things. Holy crap, changed my life again. That now I can just cruise over to Barrio and pick it up to go.
Nice.
Wow.
I'm like, this is opening doors. I'm going to be eating tacos every week, feels like. But it was just as good making it home because it's walking distance.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
So it was easy to get over and back and still have the food hot and delicious. But oh my gosh, if you guys haven't yet, take a trip, come over to Bound Crossing, grab some Barrio. It's good stuff. You're not going to be disappointed.
Yeah,
Nice.
very good. All right,
Yeah.
Dane, we said we
right.
would make this a 90-minute podcast.
Yeah,
so
we said we'd keep this one tight.
you got to take it away.
All right, I'm just going to remind everybody, go check out Godzilla Minus One. Anyway, apart from that, please, if you haven't already, hit like on YouTube here, although I know a lot of you switched over to Facebook because of apparent, video feed issues. However, I would say I've been watching it on my phone here while setting this stuff up. It's looked fine. So feel free to come back if you're over on Facebook. Click like on that too. Anyway, other than that, if you're not subscribed to our channels by now, what are you doing? Come on, do that. And if you could please leave a review for us wherever you get your podcast from, that'd be greatly appreciated. If you don't normally listen to podcasts, you can always, of course, leave a comment down below on YouTube here. We certainly appreciate those too. Let us know how it's going in your life, or if you have something to say about something we said on the program here. All right, apart from that, we got Q&A waiting for us later this week. And, that's really it, guys. So from all of us here, take care, have a great week, and we'll catch you then. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Get over here.